What is up, my friends? Welcome back to Theory Hammer, where today we are taking another look at another codex for Warhammer 40k 10th edition. Today we've got the Tyranids. The Tyranids of the Marines just came out. We just did Marines, now we're doing Tyranids. If you like the Tyranids, which I really don't, leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to Theory Hammer, and hit the bell icon. That way you're always notified every time we have a new video out. We do codex reviews, we do tacticas, we do battle reports. I complain a lot. I try to do all kinds of stuff, so the more support we get, the more stuff we can make. When you're done looking at this index review or this codex review, check out our other videos as well. We got all kinds of stuff out there, like I just mentioned, and there's some stuff that you're going to find interesting and valuable. We're going to get right into it, guys. I don't want to waste any time with this. Let's do it. Tyranids are cool. I just don't like playing them. Look at them. They're fighting Votan. They're totally going to win. Look at them all. They're everywhere. All right, let's do this. Tyranid time. This is the forces of the Tyranids. Let's get it going. All right, what do we got? We got an introduction, but we don't care. We care about the army rule, which is the synapse. If your army faction is Tyranids, while a Tyranid's unit from your army is within 6 inches of one or more friendly synapse models, that Tyranid unit is said to be within synapse range of that model and of your army. Each time a Tyranid unit from your army takes a battle shock test, if it's within synapse range of your army, you can take it on 3d6 instead of 2d6. Then Shadow in the Warp. If your army faction is Tyranids, once per battle in either player's command phase, if one or more units from your army with this ability are on the battlefield, you can unleash the Shadow in the Warp. When you do, each enemy unit on the battlefield must take a battle shock test. Fuck. That's their fucking army rule? What? Once per battle. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Let's see what we got. We got the invasion fleet. They have hyper adaptations. At the start of the first battle round, select one of the following hyper adaptations to be active for Tyranid units from your army until the end of the battle. Swarming instincts. Each time a Tyranid's model with the hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an infantry or swarm unit, it has sustained hits 1. Hyper aggression. Each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle, you get lethal hits. If you target a character, you get precision. Alien Cunning is in a first enhancement. Tyranid's model only. After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 Tyranid units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those up in Strategic Reserve, if you wish, regardless of how many units are already in Strategic Reserve. Cool. Perfectly adapted. Yeah, perfectly adapted. Tyranid's model only. Once per turn, you can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, 1 damage roll, 1 advance roll, 1 charge roll, or 1 saving throw made for the bearer. Okay. Synaptic Linchpin. Tyranid model only. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 9 inches of the bearer, that unit is within synapse range of your army. Adaptive Biology. Get a 5-up Feel No Pain. At the start of any turn, if the bearer has fewer than its starting number of wounds remaining until the end of the battle, it has Feel No Pain 4+ instead. What the dude, what? Let's take a battle shock test. Okay, so rapid regeneration is your first stratagem. It's a battle tactic for 1 CP. It's in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit selects its targets. Your target is their target. And until the end of the phase, models in your unit have Feel No Pain 6+. If you're within synapse range, you have Feel No Pain 5+ instead. Adrenal Surge, battle tactics 1 CP, or 2 CP, actually. Fight phase. Any fight phase. Up to 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within synapse range from your army, then that are eligible to fight, or just one other unit that's eligible to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in the selected units makes an attack, an unmodified hit roll of 5+ scores a critical hit. Okay. Death Frenzy. Strategic Ploy Strat, 1 CP. This is the fight phase, just after an enemy unit selects its targets. Target 1 Tyranid unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of those attacking units' attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6 on a 4+, do not remove it from play, it can fight, yeah. Overrun. Strategic Ploy, 1 CP. Fight phase, just before a Tyranid unit from your army consolidates. That Tyranid unit is the target. until the end of the phase. Each time it consolidates, it can move an additional 3 inches, as long as your unit can end that move within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. If your unit is within synapse range of your army and not within engagement range of any enemy units, instead of making a consolidation move, it can make a normal move up to 6 inches. Interesting. Cool. Predatory Imperative. Strategic Ploy, 1 CP. It's in your command phase. Up to 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within synapse range, or 1 Tyranid unit from your army that's not, potentially. Select 1 hyper adaptation until the start of your next command phase. That adaptation is active for those selected units, in addition to the other one. You cannot select the same hyper adaptation that you selected at the start of the first battle round. Endless Swarm. Strategic Ploy. It's the last one you got. It's 1 CP. It's in your command phase. Up to 2 Endless Multitude units from your army that are within synapse range, or just 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army. You can return D3 plus 3 models to each of those selected units. Okay. Tell me if I'm missing something there. That seems kind of shitty. Crusher Stampede. Enraged Behemoths. Each time a Tyranid's monster model from your army makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if that model's unit is below its starting strength. And add 1 to the wound roll as well if it's below half strength. Why the restriction? I don't know. Who knows? Ominous Presence is your first enhancement. It's for a Tyranid monster only. Add 3 to the bearer's objective control characteristic. Okay, that's fine. Enraged Reserves. Tyranid monster only. If the bearer is destroyed by a melee attack and has not fought on a 3-up, do not remove from play, can fight, and then is removed from play. Null Nodules. Tyranid monster only. Once per battle, when a psychic attack is allocated to the bearer, it can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, it has Feel No Pain 5+ against psychic attacks. Interesting. So that's fucking terrible. Monstrous Nemesis. Tyranid's monster only. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack that targets a monster or vehicle, add 1 to the wound roll. These are all bad. This is cool, being able to fight on death, but it's on a 3-up. Like, this is cool, adding 1 to the wound roll. That's probably your best one. But your first stratagem. Corrosive Viscera. Strategic Ploy, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting or fight phase just after a Tyranid monster model from your army with the Deadly Demise ability that cannot fly is destroyed. That Tyranid monster model is the target. You can use the stratagem even though it was just destroyed. It just auto-explodes. Cool. Rampaging Monstrosities, 1 CP battle tactics in the fight phase. 1 Tyranid monster from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase until the end of the phase. Each time model in your unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. Fine. Okay. Savage Roar, 1 CP battle tactics. This is in the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. You target 1 Tyranid monster from your army that was the target of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time model in that unit makes an attack that targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If it's battle shocked, then subtract 1 from the wound roll. Specifically, if they fail that battle shock test that you make them take. If they were already battle shocked, doesn't look like that actually triggers that. Untamed Ferocity, right? Untrammed? Oh, God. Untrammeled Ferocity, there we go. 1 CP, Strategic Ploy. Your movement phase, 1 Tyranid monster unit from your army that has not been selected to move yet. Till the end of the phase, models in your unit can move through enemy models. So until the end of the phase, models in your unit can move through enemy models as if they were friendly models. Until the end of the phase, any desperate escape tests those models must take are automatically passed. Cool. Swarm Guided Salvos, 1 CP battle tactics. In your shooting phase, 1 Tyranid monster unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, you get Ignores Cover. Each time your model makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to this ballistic skill or hit roll. Okay, that's okay. Massive Impact. 1 CP, Epic Deed. This happens in your charge phase. Just after a Tyranid monster from your army ends a charge move, you target that Tyranid monster. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range. Roll 6d6 for each 4+. You suffer a mortal wound, so it's basically a little tank shock. Next is the Unending Swarm. Their detachment rule is Insurmountable Odds. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after that unit has finished making its attacks, if 1 or more models from 1 or more Endless Multitude units from your army were destroyed as a result of those attacks, each such unit can make a surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. That unit can be moved a distance in inches up to the result, but that unit must end as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of the enemy unit. A unit cannot make a surge move while it's battle shocked. Is that easy to play around, or is it just me? Move to the closest possible. So if you have like random shit that's up in the front, I don't know. It's not bad after that chaff's gone, I guess. You can manipulate where they go, is the thing. Relentless Hunter is your first enhancement. Tyranids model only. Add 2 to the move characteristic of models in the bear's unit. Okay. Fine. Naturalized Camouflage. Tyranid model only at the start of the first battle round. Select up to 3 friendly Endless Multitude units within 9 of the bearer. Until the end of the battle round, each time an attack targets one of those units, they have cover. Piercing Talons. Tyranid only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack on a critical wound, improve the armor penetration by 1. A lot to keep track of, but fine. Not great. Adrenalized Onslaught, Tyranid model only. Each time the bearer unit piles in or consolidates, models in that unit can move an additional 3 inches. Okay, Synaptic Goading is your first strat. It's gonna be a strategic ploy for 1 CP. This happens in any phase just before an Endless Multitude unit from your army that is within synapse range of your army, weird wording, makes a surge move. The Endless Multitude unit is the target. When making that surge move, you can re-roll the d6 to determine how far your unit moves, and your unit can end the move as close as possible to the closest objective marker instead of as close as possible to an enemy unit. All other rules for making a surge move still apply. Unending Waves, 2 CP, strategic ploy. Any phase, 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that was just destroyed. You can use this stratagem on that unit even though it was just destroyed. Add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed one. In strategic reserves, add its starting strength. That's good. So that automatically kind of puts this one on the map for me, I feel like. This is a pretty good ability, even though people can make guys go where they want. But the point is you're still moving closer to people, and that's what Tyranids generally want to do. And that's pretty good, because you can return units kind of like Imperial Guard can. So you add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed one. Any attached characters are not returned. Teaming Masses, that's battle tactics for 1 CP. This happens in your opponent's shooting phase, or the fight phase, just after an M unit has selected its targets. 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of those attacking units' attacks, and then until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Fine. Swarming Masses, battle tactics for 1 CP in your shooting phase, or fight phase. You target 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight until the end of the phase. Weapons equipped by models in your unit have sustained hits 1. If your unit contains 15 or more, each time your unit makes an attack, an unmodified hit roll of 5+ scores a critical hit. I'm surprised that's not 15 or less. Instead of 15 or more. It's kind of strange. That would give you a buff for having more. Anyway, that's what that one does. I wonder how many things in the army are actually going to have the Endless Multitude keyword. Bounding Advance. 1 CP in your movement phase, 1 Endless Multitude unit. Till the end of the phase, each time your unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, just add 6 to the move characteristic of models in the unit. And then Preservation Imperative for 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Endless Multitude unit from your army that was the target of the attack. Then until the end of the phase, your unit is treated as fewer than 5 models for the purpose of the blasted. What the fuck? Sure. The writers were like, we're running out of ideas. Just put that in there. Assimilation Swarm. Their detachment rule is Feed the Swarm. In your command phase, each Harvester unit from your army that is within range of an objective marker you control can regenerate 1 friendly Tyranid unit that is within 6 inches of it. A unit can only be regenerated once per phase. Each time a unit regenerates, do one of the following. 1 model in that unit regains up to D3 lost wounds, or 1 destroyed infantry model, excluding characters, is returned to that unit with its full wounds remaining. If that unit is an Endless Multitude unit, up to 3 destroyed models are returned instead. Okay. Your enhancements. Tyranids model only for regenerating monstrosity. It can't take it on a monster, though. The bearer's unit can be regenerated twice instead of once. It's going to be dead. Maybe. Tyranids model only. While the bearer is within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly Harvester units, you can target the bearer's unit with the Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. That's pretty good. In addition, while the bearer is within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly Harvester units, it has fights first. That's good. That's a good one. Instinctive Defense. Biophagic Blow. Tyranid model only, while a friendly Harvester model is within 12 of the bearer. When using the Feed the Swarm ability, the Harvester model can regenerate 1 friendly Tyranid unit within 9 instead of 6. And then Parasitic Biomorphology. Tyranid model only. Add one of the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit. The whole unit gets it. The first time the bearer's unit destroys an enemy unit in the fight phase while the bearer is within 6 of a harvest unit until the end of the phase, add one of the attacks characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit. Cool. Broodguard Impulse, first stratagem. Epic Deed, 1 CP. This is any phase. 1 harvester unit from your army that was just destroyed. You can use this stratagem on that unit even though it was just destroyed. Until the end of the battle, each time a friendly Tyranid's model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit that just destroyed your harvester unit, add 1 to the wound roll. Cool. Reclaim Biomass, 1 CP strategic ploy. Any phase, when a Tyranid's unit from your army is destroyed, before the last model is removed from play, 1 harvester unit from your army that was within 6 of it. Regenerate 1 friendly Tyranid's unit within 6 of your harvester unit. Interesting. That's cool. Tyrannoformed. 1 CP, strategic ploy, command phase. 1 harvester unit from your army that is within range of an objective marker you control. It remains under your control even if you have no models in range of it until your opponent controls it at the start of any turn. Ablative Carapace. 2 CP for an epic deed. They have only 1 battle tactic stratagem. This is going to be different though. So your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after an enemy unit is selected its targets, 1 harvester unit from your army that was the target of those attacks. Then until the end of the phase, you gain 5 up field pain. If your unit is within range of an objective marker you control, until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 4 up field pain. So that's pretty good. Ablative Carapace. Secure Biomass. You got Reclaim Biomass and Secure Biomass. Secure it in the fight phase for 1 CP, and it's a strategic ploy. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that has not been selected to fight is the target, and then until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models in your unit have lethal hits. If your unit is a harvester, each time they make an attack on a 5+, you score a critical hit. Rapacious Hunter. This happens in your fight phase for 1 CP. Battle Tactics, the only one they got. You select 1 Tyranid unit from your army that just destroyed an enemy unit. Your unit immediately regenerates. When doing so, if it's a harvester, you can choose for 1 model to regain D3 lost wounds. That model regains 3 lost wounds instead. Okay. So, your unit immediately regenerates. When doing so, if your unit is a harvester unit, and you chose for 1 model to regain D3 lost wounds, it regains 3 instead. So you just auto-regain 3, and you can just do it immediately. Vanguard Onslaught. I think this is the last detachment. So this has Questing Tendrils. This is your detachment rule. Tyranid units with this ability are eligible to charge in a turn in which they fell back. Cool. Vanguard Invader units, who knows what those are eligible to charge in a turn in which they advance. Vanguard Prime. Death Leaper loses the Hunter Organism rule and can be your Warlord. Okay. Your enhancements. Hunting Ground. Tyranid model only while the bearer is on the battlefield. Each time your opponent sets up a reserve unit on the battlefield, roll 1d6. On a 2+, that unit must take a battle shock test. That's kind of hilarious, actually. Tyranid model only while the bearer is on the battlefield. Each time your opponent sets up a reserve unit on the battlefield, roll a d6. On a 2+, take a battle shock test. Okay. That's actually pretty good. I know I shit on battle shock all the time, but I mean, that's kind of funny. You're just like making their things take battle shock tests when they come into play. That's pretty good. Chameleonic. Vanguard Invader model only. The bearer is stealth, and each time a range attack targets the bearer, it has the benefit of cover. Stalker. Vanguard Invader model only. At the start of the battle, select 1 enemy unit. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to hit and wound, whatever. Neuronode. Tyranid model only. After both players have deployed their armies and determined who has the first turn, you can select up to 3 Vanguard Invader units from your army and redeploy all of them. When doing so, you can put them into strategic reserve, regardless of what's there. So far, I'm liking this. Eligible to charge in turn which they fell back. Vanguard Invader units are eligible to charge in turn which they advanced. So Vanguard Invader. I don't know what those are. We're going to find out momentarily. Surprise Assault. Battle Tactics Stratagem, 1 CP. It's in your shooting phase or fight phase. 1 Vanguard Invader unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase until the enemy unit must take a battle shock test. So, let's just start again. 1 Vanguard Invader unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and 1 enemy unit. That enemy unit takes a battle shock test. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll. If they battle shock, you add 1 to the wound roll. Cool. Assassin Beasts, 1 CP, fight phase, battle tactics. 1 Vanguard Invader infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Till the end of the phase, you gain precision. And Seeding Broods. This happens in your movement phase. You select 1 Tyranids unit from your army that is in reserves, or up to 2 Vanguard Invader units from your army that are in reserves. Until the end of the phase, for the purposes of setting up the selected units on the battlefield, treat the battle round as 1 higher than it actually is. Okay, so you can come down and turn early. Hypersensory Cilia. It's 2 CP. It's a strategic ploy. It's in your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends in a normal, advance, or fallback move. Up to 2 Vanguard Invader units from your army that are within 9 inches of that enemy unit, or 1 other Tyranid unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit. The selected units can move 6 inches. No roll. You just get to move 6. Although, you can't do it if you're within engagement range. That's pretty good. Unseen Lurkers. 1 CP. It's in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit is selected as a target, and this is a strategic play. You target a Vanguard Invader unit from your army that is the target of those attacks. Till the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as the target of that ranged attack if it's within 12. If your unit has lone operative, it can only be attacked if it's within 6. That's insane. Your opponent can select new targets. Okay, that's pretty good. That's good. Invisible Hunter, it's 1 CP. It's at the end of your opponent's fight phase. You select up to 2 Vanguard Invader units from your army or 1 Tyranid's infantry unit. Remove the targeted units from the battlefield, put them into strategic reserve. The targeted units must be more than 3 inches from all enemy units. That's also really good. So, Vanguard Onslaught, probably the best one. That's my initial assessment. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Synaptic Nexus. They have Synaptic Imperative. At the start of the battle round, you can select one of the Synaptic Imperatives shown below until the end of the battle round. That Synaptic Imperative is active for your army, and while a Tyranid unit from your army is within range of Synapse, it will benefit from it. Each Synaptic Imperative can only be selected once per battle. Augmentation. While your unit is within Synapse range, you have a 5-up invuln. Surging Vitality. Add 1 to advance and charge rolls. Go to Slaughter. While this unit is within range of Synapse of your army, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. These are pretty good. So they're basically doctrines for Tyranids. Their enhancement number 1 is Power of the Hive Mind. Tyranid Psyker only. Improve the strength and armor penetration characteristic of psychic weapons by 1. Psychostatic Disruption. Tyranid Synapse model only. Enemy units that arrive on the battlefield from reserve cannot be set up within 12 inches of the bearer. In addition, once per battle during the first or second battle round, when your opponent declares that a unit will arrive from the battlefield from strategic reserve, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, roll a d6 on a 4+, that enemy unit cannot arrive on the battlefield this turn. That's really good. Well, maybe it's not, because it's only a 4-up and 1. That's once per battle for that. If it's any, I got a little ahead of myself on that one. So it's only once per game on a 4-up. It doesn't come down. Otherwise, you can't come down within 12. That's still not bad. Okay, Synaptic Control. Tyranid Synapse model only. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic for that attack. So this could be pretty cool on like a Lictor or something with lone operatives, because you have to be further than 12 inches away. You can't actually charge it. You can't shoot it. You can't actually interact with it. So that's actually pretty good on stuff. Whatever. This is pretty good too. So Synaptic Control. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract from the damage characteristic of that attack. If you can take that on a Hive Tyrant, then that's going to be pretty good. The Deer's Heart of Karis. So it's a Tyranid model only, Tyranid Synapse model only. While an enemy unit is within 9 of the bearer, worsen their leadership by 1. Okay, so this is good. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. It's not great, but it's cool. This is also this one. These 3 are pretty cool. Alright, so these are going to be their strats. Smothering Shadow, 1 CP strategic ploy. This is any phase just after an enemy unit fails a battle shock test. You target a Synapse unit from your army that's within 12 inches of that enemy unit. And then roll 6d6 for each 3+, they suffer 1 mortal wound. That's hilarious. Synaptic Channeling. It's battle tactics, 1 CP. It's your command phase. 1 Synapse unit from your army is the target till the end of the turn. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 9 of the selected unit, and that unit is within Synapse range. Irresistible Will. Battle tactics, 1 CP. In your shooting or fight phase, 1 Synapse unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and then 1 enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to the Synapse unit. So at the end of the phase, each time a friendly Tyranids model makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, if the attacking model's unit is within 6 inches of your Synapse unit, reroll a hit and wound roll of 1. Great. Reinforced Hive Node, 1 CP, Battle Tactics. This is in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit selects its targets. Target 1 Synapse unit from your army that was the target of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration of that attack by 1. So Armor of Contempt. Wow. Imperative Dominance. 1 CP in your command phase, Strategic Ploy. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is within Synapse range of your army. Select 1 Synaptic Imperative. Even if you are already selected that imperative this battle, until the start of the next battle round, that Synaptic Imperative is active for your unit instead of the other that's active for your army. That's great. So you can just switch these up. Override Instinct, I'm not sure how great it is, but it's cool. 5 of Invuln, Advancement, yeah, +1 to charge might be good. Override Instincts, Strategic Ploy, 1 CP, your movement phase. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is within Synapse range of your army and made a fallback move. It's eligible to shoot and declare a charge this turn, so that's pretty awesome as well. So this is also a good detachment. These are both good. Vanguard Onslaught, I like. Synaptic Nexus, I like. Is there another one? No. Okay. Data sheet time. This is a real cool picture. Real cool. So let's just go. It's what we're here for, right? We're here for the data sheets. We're here for the rules. We're here for all this stuff. Hive Tyrant. He's up first. He moves 8. He's toughness 10 with a 2-up and a 4-up invuln. 10 wounds. Not as tanky as I thought he'd be. Leadership 7, OC of 3. His ranged weapons are Heavy Venom Cannon. That's going to be Blast at 36. D3 shots. Hits on 2s with everything. Strength 9, AP 2, and damage 3. Stranglethorn. That's going to be Blast at 36. D6 plus 1 shots. Strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. For melee, he's got Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip as an option. 6 attacks. Strength 9, AP 2, damage 3. Or Monstrous Scything Talons. 4 attacks. Strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Those are extra attacks, so he's just got those. Okay. For his war gear, his Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip can be replaced with one of the following: the Heavy Venom Cannon, Stranglethorn Cannon, Monstrous Scything Talons. This model's Monstrous Scything Talons can be replaced with one of the following: Heavy Venom Cannon, Stranglethorn Cannon. This model cannot be equipped with both a Stranglethorn Cannon and a Heavy Venom Cannon. It cannot be equipped with more than 1 Heavy Venom Cannon. It cannot be equipped with more than 1 Stranglethorn Cannon. It has Deadly Demise D3 and Leader. It can lead stuff. Shadow in the Warp and Synapse. Will of the Hive Mind. Once per turn, 1 friendly Tyranid unit within 12 inches of 1 or more models with this ability can be targeted with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if another unit from your army was already targeted with that stratagem this phase. An Onslaught. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 6 of this model, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have Assault. That's awesome. It lets them advance and shoot or do actions. Good stuff there. It comes with a Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip, and then Monstrous Scything Talons. Give him a Heavy Venom Cannon, probably. He can be attached to Tyrant Guard. He is a monster character, Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse, Hive Tyrant. Then you got the Winged Boy. He moves 12. He's toughness 9 with a 2-up, 4-up, 10 wounds, leadership 7, OC of 3. He has the same options. His Tyrant Talons are different for melee, so those are 5 attacks, strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Otherwise, his Heavy Venom Cannon, his Stranglethorn Cannon, all that stuff is the same. Monstrous Scything Talons, Bone Sword, and Lash Whip. His Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip can be replaced with a Venom Cannon, Stranglethorn Cannon, or Monstrous Scything Talons. He has Deadly Demise D3 and Deep Strike, Shadow in the Warp, Synapse, Will of the Hive Mind, so same as this guy. You can target something with a strat for 0 CP. And then Paroxysm. At the start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches invisible to this model. Roll 1d6. On a 1, the Psyker suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 2+, until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from the attacks characteristic of weapons equipped by models in that unit. That's great. -1 to your attacks. He's got a Monstrous Bone Sword, Lash Whip, cool stuff. He's a monster character, Psyker, Fly, Great Devourer, Synapse, Vanguard Invader. Okay, Hive Tyrant. So he's a Vanguard Invader. The Winged Hive Tyrant. That's going to be a 12-inch move. Toughness 5 with a 4-up save and 6 wounds. Leadership 7, OC of 1. He's got Prime Talons. They're 6 attacks on 2s for melee, strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. This guy can be attached to gargoyles, warriors with melee bioweapons, and then warriors with ranged bioweapons. I guess they have different profiles now. He's infantry character Fly, Great Devourer, Synapse, Vanguard Invader as well. He has Deep Strike and Leader because he can lead those units. He has Shadow in the Warp and Synapse. Yep. He's an Alpha Warrior. While he's leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have sustained hits 1, then Death Blow if this model is destroyed by a melee attack and has not fought on a 4+, it gets to fight and then it's destroyed. You got your Neuro Tyrant. This guy's toughness 8. What? He moves 6, he's toughness 8 with a 4-up save and a 4-up invuln. He's got 9 wounds, leadership 7, and OC of 3. His ranged weapon is Psychic Scream. Ignores cover, psychic, and torrent, so it's a flamer. It's 18-inch range, 2d6 shots, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. I love it. Neuro Tyrant, Claws and Lashes. 6 attacks on 3s, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. He can be attached to Neuro Gaunts and Tyrant Guard, strangely. So he's got a Psychic Scream, he's got his Claws and Lashes, he's a leader, he's got Synapse and Shadow in the Warp. Node Lash. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if the target is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll as well. Psychic Terror. If one or more models from your army with this ability are on the battlefield, when you unleash the Shadow in the Warp, subtract 1 from the battle shock test each enemy unit on the battlefield must take. That's great. Makes your army better. Neuraloids. In your command phase, you can select up to 2 friendly Tyranid units with an 18 until the start of your next command phase. The selected units are always considered to be within Synapse range. Great. Okay. So this guy's a monster character Fly. Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse. So he's not a Vanguard Invader. The Norn Emissary. I guess this is it's just a big boy. Moves 10, toughness 11 with a 2-up, 4-up, 16 wounds, leadership 7, and OC of 5. Its ranged weapon is Psychic Tendril. It's got 3 different profiles. Neuroparasite is precision, 18-inch range with 2 shots. Everything hits on 2s. Strength 8, AP 2, damage D3. The Neuroblast, that's 2d6 shots, strength 6, AP 2, damage 1. And then Neurolance, Melta 2, strength 12 with 2 shots, AP 3, damage D6. Monstrous Scything Talons in combat, strength 9, AP 2, damage 3 with 6 attacks. Monstrous Rending Claws, extra attacks, 4 attacks, strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. 1 to 5 wounds remaining, it's -1 to hit. It has its Psychic Tendril, Monstrous Scything Talons, Monstrous Rending Claws. It's a Monster Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse. It has Deadly Demise D6, Shadow in the Warp, and Synapse. And then Singular Purpose. At the start of the first battle round, select one of the following. Select one enemy unit until the end of the battle. Each time this model makes an attack that targets that unit, you can re-roll the hit and the wound roll. Select one objective marker until the end of the battle. While this model is within range of that objective marker, it has Feel No Pain 5+ and an OC of 15. That's really good. And then it has a 4-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. Unnatural Resilience. Norn Assimilator. Moves 10, toughness 11 with a 2-up save, no invuln. 16 wounds, leadership 7, and a 5 OC. Ranged weapons is Toxin Injector Harpoon. It's got Harpooned. It's got a 12-inch range with 2 shots on 2s. Strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 +1. So you get Harpooned after the bearer has shot with this weapon. Select one enemy monster or vehicle hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the turn. Each time the bearer selects that unit as the target of a charge, add 2 to the charge roll. So that's right as Sigmar. Melee weapons. Monstrous Scything Talons, 6 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, damage 3. The Harpoon in combat is 4 extra attacks, a strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 +1. Okay. While it's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining, it's -1 to hit. It has its Harpoon and Monstrous Scything Talons. It's got Deadly Demise D6, Shadow in the Warp, Synapse, Singular Purpose. So same deal there. It can either get a 5-up Feel No Pain and OC 15, or it can add 1 to hit and wound against a specific unit. And Harpoon Barbs, once per turn. When an enemy unit with an engagement range of this model is selected to fall back, roll a d6. On a 2+, they suffer d6 mortal wounds. Monster, Great Devourer, Synapse. That's crazy. Okay. Neurolictor. Moves 8, toughness 5 with a 4-up and a 4-up invuln. 7 wounds. Leadership 7, OC of 1 on Neurolictor. Piercing Claws and Talons, that's 6 attacks on 2, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. That's what it's got. It's got Infiltrators, Lone Operative, and Stealth. It's got Shadow in the Warp and Synapse, Feeder Tendrils. Each time this model destroys an enemy character, you gain a CP. It's not going to happen very often. Neural Disruption in your command, especially with this shit going on. Look at that, 6 attacks, a strength 6, AP 2, damage 1. Yeah, get fucked. You're never killing a character with that. Neural Disruption in your command phase. Select one enemy unit within 12 inches of this model. Take a Battle Shock test. Psychological Saboteur. While an enemy unit is within 12 of this model, if that unit is Battle Shocked, each time that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Each time a friendly Tyranids model makes an attack that targets that unit, add 1 to the wound roll. Okay. Infantry Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. Broodlord. Moves 8, toughness 5, 4 up invuln, 6 wounds, leadership 7, OC 1. For melee, he's got Broodlord Claws and Talons with Dev Wounds twin linked, 5 attacks on 2s, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. He can be attached to Gene Stealers. He's got Leader and Scout 6 with Synapse. He has Vicious Insight. While he's leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have devastating wounds. Hypnotic Gaze. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this model. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. He's a Broodlord. He's got Talons. He's infantry character, Psyker, Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. Swarm Lord. Moves 8, toughness 10 with a 2 up, 4 up, and 10 wounds, leadership 7, and OC of 3. Please tell me he's like -1 damage or something. Synaptic Pulse, Psychic Torrent, 18-inch range, D6 plus 3 shots, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. Bone Sabers, 8 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, and damage 3. He can be attached to Tyrant Guard. He has Deadly Demise D3, Leader, Shadow in the Warp, Synapse, Hive Commander. At the start of your command phase, if this model is on the battlefield, you gain CP. So Malign Presence once per battle. After your opponent uses a stratagem, if this model is your Warlord and is on the battlefield, it can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the battle, increase the stratagem's cost to your opponent by 1. Domination of the Hive Mind. Friendly Tyranid units within 9 of this model are within Synapse range. Okay. Monster Character, Epic Hero, Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse, Hive Tyrant. Old One Eye. He's only got 1 eye. He moves 8, he's toughness 9 with a 2 up save and 9 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 3. He's got Old One Eye's Claws and Talons. 2 different profiles, Strike and Sweep. Strike is 6 attacks on 3s, strength 14, AP 3, damage D6 plus 1. Or it's 12 attacks on 3s at strength 6, AP 1, damage 1, and he can be attached to Carnifexes. He's Feeling of Pain 5+, and the Leader. Synapse, Alpha Leader, while this model is leading a unit. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. He regains D3 lost wounds at the start of each player's command phase. That's awesome. Yeah, so he's Monster Character, Epic Hero, Great Devourer. Parasite of Moriax. We're still on characters. Moves 12, toughness 5, 4 up save, 5 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 1. For melee, it's got Barbed Oviposture? Oviposture. Barbed Oviposture. Anti-infantry 3 up. Extra attacks, 1 extra attack. Heading on 2s, strength 3, AP 2, damage 3. His other weapon is Clawed Limbs, 6 attacks on 2, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. He has Deep Strike, Lone Operative, and Stealth. He's a Synapse creature. He's got Parasitic Infection. Each time an infantry model is destroyed by its barbed, whatever the fuck that was. After this model has finished making its attacks, you can add 1 new Ripper Swarms unit to your army, consisting of D3 models, and set up within 3 inches of this model. If you do, that Ripper Swarm unit can be set up within engagement range of the destroyed model's unit. Cool. It itches. At the start of the fight phase, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of this model, take a Battle Shock test. Infantry, Character Fly, Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. It's just got stuff. Gargoyles. They move 12, their toughness 3 with a 6 up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, OC of 2. Their ranged weapon are a Flesh Borer. It's an assault weapon, so they can advance and shoot this 18 with 1 shot on 4, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. In combat, they have Blinding Venom, 1 attack on 4, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. They have Deep Strike, Synapse, That's their faction, like everything else. Winged Swarm, in your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if it's not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move up to 6. If it does, it can't charge. Units of 10 to 20. They all have Flesh Borers, Blinding Venom, their infantry, Battle Line, Fly, Great Devourer, Endless Multitude, Vanguard Invader. Those seem good. Hormagaunts, they move 10, their toughness 3 with a 5-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, OC of 2. They have Talons, 3 attacks on 4s, strength 3, AP 1, damage 1. They're Synapse, they have Bounding Leap, they're eligible to charge in a turn in which they advanced. 10 to 20 in a unit. Their infantry, Battle Line, Great Devourer, Endless Multitude. Regular Termagants move 6, toughness 3 with a 5-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, and OC of 2, so the same profile basically as these guys, just not as fast. They have guns though. They can take Flesh Borers, that's an assault weapon with an 18-inch range and 1 shot. Strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. The Shard Launcher, that's blast and heavy, D3 shots at 18 inches. Hits on 4s, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Spike Rifle is heavy, 24-inch range, 1 shot, hitting on 4s like everything else. Strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. Strangle Web Assault, Devastating Wounds Torrent, 18-inch range with D6 shots, strength 2, AP 0, damage 1. Termagant Devourer, 18 inches, 2 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Or Termagant Spine Fist Assault, Pistol Twin Linked, 12-inch range, 2 shots, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. Chitinous Claws and Teeth for melee, 1 attack at strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. All models in the unit can have their Flesh Borers replaced with Termagant Devourers. All models in this unit can have their Flesh Borers replaced with Termagant Spine Fists. For every 10, one can take a Shard Launcher, a Spike Rifle, and a Strangle Web. The faction Synapse, they have Skulking Horrors. Once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of this unit, if it is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can make a normal move up to D6. 10 to 20 in the unit, they just have Flesh Borers and their chitinous claws and teeth. The Tyranid Warriors with ranged bioweapons, they move 6, their toughness 5 with a 4-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 7, and OC 2. They have Barbed Stranglers as ranged weapons. The first one, that's a blast weapon at 36, D6 plus 1 shot, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Everything they have hits on 4s except for combat. The Death Spitter next, 3 attacks, 24-inch range, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. Devourer, 5 attacks at 18, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Spine Fist, Assault, Pistol Twin Link, 12-inch range, 2 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And then Venom Cannon, Blast, 36 inches, D3 shots, strength 9, AP 2, damage 2. Tyranid Warrior Claws and Talons, 5 attacks, strength 5. AP 1, damage 1, those hit on 3s, and that's their combat weapon. Shadow in the Warp Synapse, Adaptable Predators. This unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. You take them in units of 3 to 6. They all have Devourers, Claws, and Talons. Any number of models can have their Devourer replaced with a Death Spitter or a Spine Fist. And then for every 3, one guy can have a Barbed Strangler. For every 3, one guy can have a Venom Cannon. Their infantry, Great Devourer, Synapse. Yeah. So then you got the Tyranid Warriors with melee weapons. They have the same profile. They move 6, toughness 5 with a 4-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 7, OC of 2. Tyranid Warrior Claws and Talons. These are twin linked with 6 attacks on 3s. Strength 5, AP 2, damage 1. Shadow in the Warp Synapse. Adaptive Instincts. At the start of the fight phase, select one of the following. Aggression Imperative until the end of the phase. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Or Bioregeneration until the end of the phase. Each time a saving throw is made for a model in this unit, reroll a saving throw of 1. Units of 3 to 6, they're Tyranid Warrior. What the heck? That's like a hair on me. They're all equipped with Claws and Talons. They're infantry, Great Devourer, Synapse. Gene Stealers. These move 8. They are toughness 4 with a 5-up save and a 5-up invuln. They do have 2 wounds. Their leadership 7 and OC 1. They have Gene Stealer Claws and Talons. Just 4 attacks on 2s. Strength 4, AP 2, damage 1. Scout 8 inches. That's awesome. Synapse, and then Vanguard Predator. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. If you're within range of an objective marker, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. They come in units of 5 to 10. They're infantry, Great Devourer. They are Vanguard Invaders. You got these Neurogons. What do these do? These are new. They move 6, their toughness 3 with a 6-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, and OC of 1. Thing's crazy looking, huh? Chitinous Claws and Teeth, 1 attack, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. Synapse, Neuropsights. While this unit is within Synapse range of a friendly Tyranids unit, excluding Neurogaunt units, it has the Synapse keyword. And then there are units of 1 to 2 Neurogaunt Node Beasts and 10 to 20 Neurogaunts. They're all equipped with their Chitinous Claws and Teeth. This unit can only contain 2 Neurogaunt Node Beasts if it contains 20 Neurogaunts. Infantry Great Devourer Endless Multitude unit. Okay. Were these Endless Multitudes? Yep. Yes. Figured they would be. Alright, so those are your Endless Multitude Neurogaunts. Raveners. They're very ravenous. They move 10, their toughness 5 with a 5-up save and 3 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 1. They have Thoracic Biocannon, which is an assault weapon. It's 12-inch range, 3 attacks on 4s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. For melee, they got Ravener Claws and Talons, which are twin-linked, 7 attacks on 3s, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. All models in the unit can have their Thoracic Bio weapon replaced with a Armored Thorax. They have Deep Strike, they have Synapse, they have Death from Below. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can root from the battlefield, put it into Strategic Reserve. Those are probably going to be good for secondaries. The Thorax gives you a 4-up save. They are taking units of 3 to 6. They all have their bio weapon thing, Ravener Claws, their infantry, Great Devourer, and Raveners. Barbgaunts. These move 6, are toughness 4 with a 4-up save and 2 wounds. Interesting. Leadership 8, OC 1. So they must be like a big ass gaunt. They have a barb launcher. It's blast and heavy. D6 shots at 24 inches. Strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Hits on 4s. Then Chitinous Claws and Teeth. 1 attack on 4s. Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. They have Synapse, and they have Disruption Bombardment. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select 1 enemy infantry unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks till the end of your opponent's next turn. If that enemy unit is disrupted, and while they're disrupted, they subtract 2 from their move characteristic and subtract 2 from advance and charge rolls. These come in units of 5 to 10. What? You can take 10 of these things with barb launchers? They're probably kind of expensive. They have Chitinous Claws and Teeth. Their infantry Great Devourer Biovore. That moves 5, is toughness 6 with a 3-up save and 5 wounds. That's new looking. Leadership 8, OC 1. They have Spore Mine Launcher. It's blast, dev wounds, heavy, indirect, 48-inch range with D3 shots, hitting on 4s, strength 6, AP 1, and damage 2. Chitinous Barbed Limbs, 2 attacks, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1, hitting on 4s. Deadly Demise 1 on these things for some odd reason. They have Seed Spore Mines. Once per turn in your shooting phase. When selected to shoot, 1 unit with this ability can use it instead of making any attacks with its ranged weapons. If it does, you can add 1 new Spore Mines unit to your army and set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 48 inches of this unit and more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. The Spore Mine contains 1 model for each model in this unit. Right. They come in units of 1 to 3. Infantry, Great Devourer. That's pretty good. You're just creating free units for secondaries and like putting things on the table to make it so people can't deep strike near you. That's annoying. That's really good. Pyrovores, they move 5 or toughness 6 with a 3-up save and 5 wounds. Leadership 8, OC of 1. They have Flame Spurt for ranged. Ignores cover, torrent, twin linked, 12-inch range with D6 plus 1 shots. Strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Chitinous Barbed Limbs, 2 attacks. Hitting on 4, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Deadly Demise 1. Synapse. Burning Spray. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. That enemy unit cannot have the benefit of cover. Okay. 1 to 3 in a unit. They're Infantry, Great Devourer, Harvester. So they're a Harvester unit. They're not a Harvester unit. Okay. I'm trying to take note of those special detachment keywords when I see them. Carnifex moves 8, toughness 9 with a 2-up save and only 8 wounds, leadership 8, and OC of 3. For ranged weapons, they can take Bioplasma, that's assault and blast, 12-inch range, D3 shots. Everything they have hits on 4s, shooting combat, it all hits on 4s. The Bioplasma is strength 7, AP 2, damage 1. Death Spitter with Slimer Maggots. 24-inch range, 6 shots flat. Strength 7, AP 2, damage 1. Devourers with Brain Leech Worms, 18 inches, 12 shots. Strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. Heavy Venom Cannon, blast weapon. We've seen assaults on the Hive Tyrant. 36-inch range with D3 shots, strength 9, AP 2, and damage 3. Spine Bank, assault, 6-inch range with 5 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Stranglethorn Cannon, also saw this on the Hive Tyrant. That's 36-inch range, D6 plus 1 shots, a strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. For melee, Carnifex Crushing Claws, 4 attacks, strength 12, AP 3, damage D6 plus 1. Carnifex Extra Scything Talons, extra attacks, 2 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, damage 3. Carnifex Scything Talons, 6 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, damage 3. Chitinous Claws and Teeth, 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. Any number of models can have their Carnifex Scything Talons replaced with one of the following: Death Spitter, Devourer, Carnifex Crushing Claws. Any number of models can be equipped with Bioplasma. Any number of models can be equipped with Spine Bank. So you're going to just take all that. They're Deadly Demise 1, Synapse, and then Blistering Assault. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after that unit has shot, if any models from this unit lost 1 or more wounds as a result of those attacks, this unit can make a Blistering Assault move. If it does, roll 1d6, adding 2 to the result. Each model in this unit can be moved a distance in inches up to the result, but this unit must finish that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. Each unit can only make 1 Blistering Assault move per phase. They come in units of 1 to 2. They have Carnifex Scything Talons, Carnifex Extra Scything Talons, and Chitinous Claws and Teeth. So you give them some upgrades. They're Monster Great Devourer Carnifexes. Death Leaper. This is a special guy. He moves 8, he's toughness 6 with a 3-up save and a 4-up invuln. 7 wounds, leadership 7, OC of 1. He's got Lictor Claws and Talons, which are precision. 6 attacks on 2, strength 7, AP 2, and damage 2. Okay. He has fights first, Infiltrators, Lone Operative, and Stealth. Feeder Tendrils. If he destroys a character, you gain a CP. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, worsen the leadership characteristic of models in that unit by 1. In addition, in the Battle Shock step of your opponent's command phase, if such an enemy unit is below its starting strength, it must take a Battle Shock test. He's just got his claws and stuff. He cannot be your Warlord. He's Infantry Character, Epic Hero, Great Devourer. Vanguard Invader. There it is. Exocrine moves 8, is toughness 10 with a 3-up save and 14 wounds. Leadership 8, OC 4. It has a Bioplasma Cannon. Blast, heavy, 36-inch range with D6 plus 3 shots on 3s. Strength 8, AP 3, damage 3. Alright. Powerful Limbs in combat. 3 attacks, strength 7, AP 0, damage 2 on 3s. He gets damaged, so this guy's beefy, right? Moves 8, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 4. Yeah. Well, he's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining. Each time this model makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Deadly Demise D3, Synapse, Symbiotic Targeting. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, select one enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a Tyranid's model makes an attack against that unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. Monster Great Devourer, Exocrine. He's got a Bioplasma Cannon and Powerful Limbs. Yeah, he does. He's got powerful stuff going on there. He's got the power. The Harpy does not have the power. It moves 20, its toughness 9, is a 3-up save and 12 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 0. It's got some ranged weapons that I'll read you. Stinger Claws, Stinger Salvos. Yeah, Stinger Salvos. 24 inch range. 8 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Twin Heavy Venom Cannon, it's blast and twin linked. It's strength 9, AP 2, damage 3. D3 shots, 36 inches. Stranglethorn Cannon, it's strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. It's twin linked. It's blast. It's the same we've seen. The only difference is that these are twin linked. Scything Wings, 4 attacks. It's strength 7, AP 1, and damage 2, hitting on 4s. This model's Stranglethorn Cannon can be replaced with a Heavy Venom Cannon. While it's got 1 to 4 wounds remaining, it's -1 to hit. It has Deadly Demise D3 and Hover, Synapse, Spore Mine, Cysts. Each time this model ends a normal move, you can select one of the following. Select one enemy unit it moved over during that move and roll 6d6 for each 3+. You suffer 1 mortal wound. Or you can add 1 new Spore Mine unit containing D3 models to your army and set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 6 inches of this model and not within 9 horizontally from any enemy units. You cannot select this option for more than one model per turn. Of course not. So you would not take these. They have Stinger Salvos, Twin Stranglethorn Cannons, and Scything Wings. They're Monster, Fly, Aircraft, Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. If they're like 50 points, you take 3 of them, but you know, they're not. So, Hive Crone. Moves 20, Toughness 9, 3-up save, 12 wounds, Leadership 8, OC of 3. It's got a Drool Cannon. They could have given this such a better name. Pretty sure it's been a Drool Cannon since forever. But it's a Torrent weapon, 2d6 shots, Strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Yeah. Stinger Salvos, 8 attacks, Strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. And then 10 Tentaclids. Anti-vehicle 4+, dev wounds, 36-inch range, 4 shots. Hitting on 3s with the salvos too, yeah. So this Stranglethorn Cannon hits on 2s over here. For the Harpy, I did not notice that until now. It hits on 2s. Just so you know. Okay, so. The Tentaclids here, they're anti-vehicle 4+, dev wounds, strength 7, AP 0, damage 2. 4 attacks at 36. Scything Wings, 4 attacks on 4s, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. And then Thorax Spur, anti-fly 2+, extra attacks, 1 extra attack, hits on 3s, strength 10, AP 3, and damage D6. While he has 1 to 4 wounds remaining. He's -1 to hit. Deadly -D3 and hover. Synapse, Airborne Predator. Each time he makes an attack that targets a unit that can fly. Add 1 to the hit roll. It's got a Drool Cannon, Stinger Salvos, Tentaclids, Scything Wings, and a Thorax Spur. It's a monster. Fly, Aircraft, Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. Okay, so there's another Vanguard Invader for us. I think we're getting close to the end here. Probably got a few more pages left. Horus Specs. Moves 8 is Toughness 11 with a 3-up save and 14 wounds. Leadership 8 and OC of 4, so it's pretty big. Got a Grasping Tongue. It's precision, so it can just suck your characters up. 12-inch range, 1 shot, hits on 3s, strength 6, AP 2, damage D6 +1. For melee, this boy has 2 things. He has a Ravenous Maw. It's 14 attacks. Strength 7, AP 1, damage 2, and then Shoveling Claws, extra attacks, 4 attacks, strength 14, AP 2, and damage D6 +1. And those hit on 3s. Everything he has hits on 3s. He's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining. He's -1 to hit. Get Deadly to -D3, Synapse, and then Grisly Spectacle. Each time this model is selected to fight after resolving its attacks, if 1 or more enemy units were destroyed by those attacks, each enemy unit within 6 takes a Battle Shock test. So you can force a bunch of Battle Shock tests with a couple of these units that you have. Yeah, he's got his Grasping Tongue, his Ravenous Maw. He's a monster, Great Devourer. The Hive Guard, they move 6, they're Toughness 7 with 3-up save and 4 wounds, so they're pretty chunky. Leadership 8, OC of 1. The Impaler Cannon, that's heavy and indirect, 36-inch range with 4 shots. Oh no. It's only strength 5, AP 1, and damage 1? What? The Shock Cannon, anti-vehicle 2+, 24-inch range with 2 shots on 3s, strength 7, AP 1, damage 3. For combat, they got 3 attacks, a strength 5, AP 0, damage 1, depending on 4s. And number of models can have their Shock Cannon replaced with an Impaler Cannon. God, these are something. Synapse, defensive stance. If you target them with the Fire Overwatch stratagem, they hit on 5s. If they're within range of an objective marker, they hit on 4s. They are units of 3 to 6. They all have Shock Cannons, Chitons, Claws, and Teeth. Infantry, so they can go through walls. Great Devourer. The Lictor does not want to lick you. He moves 8. He's Toughness 6. He's got a 4-up save and 6 wounds. Leadership 7, OC of 1. Lictor Claws and Teeth are precision. 6 attacks, strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Hits on 2s. His fights first, Infiltrators, Lone Operative, and Stealth. Synapse, Feeder Tendrils. If he destroys a character, you gain a CP. Pheromone Trail, once per battle round. You can target 1 model with this ability with the Rapid Ingress stratagem for 0 CP. He's a Lictor. He's just got his Lictor stuff. He's an Infantry, Great Devourer, Vanguard Veteran. Vanguard Invader, excuse me. Malceptor. He moves 8. He's Toughness 11 with a 3-up and a 4-up invuln. He's got 14 wounds, Leadership 7 and OC 4. What is this thing? Psychic Overload, Blast and Psychic, 18-inch range, so it's like a Psychic Carnifex, I guess. D6 plus 3 shots at strength 10, AP 2, and damage 3, hitting on 3s. In combat, Massive Scything Talons, 3 attacks at strength 9, AP 2, and damage D6 plus 1. It's different for some reason. If you sweep with that, it's strike profile. If you sweep with it, it's strength 7, AP 1, and damage 2. Cool. 1 to 5 wounds remaining. It's -1 from its hit roll. It's got Deadly Demise D3, Shadow in the Warp, Synapse. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Just it's got this aura. While an enemy unit is within 6 of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and if they're battle shock, subtract 1 from the wound roll. It's got Psychic Overload, Massive Scything Talons. It's a monster Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse. So it's a Synapse creature. Mawloc, move 10, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, OC 4. For melee, they got Distendable Maw. It's anti-infantry, 4-up, dev wounds, extra attacks, 1 attack at strength 5, AP 0, damage 3. And then Mawloc, Scything Talons, 16 attacks on 3, strength 8, AP 2, but only damage 1. 1 to 5 wounds remaining, it's -1 to hit. It's got Deep Strike, it's got Synapse, Terror from the Deep. Each time this model is set up on the battlefield using its Deep Strike ability, roll a d6. For each enemy unit within 12 of this model. On a 2 to 4, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. On a 5, they suffer 3 and take a battle shock test. Monster Great Devourer, so he's not anything cool. He's got his Distendable Jaws. That's it. Mucilid Spores. They move 4. They're toughness 4. They've got a 7-up save and 3 wounds. Leadership 8. OC 0. They are Beast Fly Great Devourer. They Deep Strike with, they got Synapse Faction. Bio Minefield. Enemy units cannot start or end advanced moves within 6 inches of this unit. You can't start an advanced move? That's interesting. Floating Death. Each time this unit or an enemy unit ends a move, for each model in this unit that is within 3 inches of 1 or more enemy units, select one of those enemy units. That model in this unit is destroyed, then roll a d6. On a 2 to 5, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, you suffer d6 mortal wounds. They're only units of 1 to 2. They are literally equipped with nothing. The Psychophage. Another thing I don't know what this is. I've never heard of this before. It moves 8. It's toughness 9 with a 3-up save and 10 wounds. Leadership 8 and OC of 3. It's got a ranged weapon. It's Psychoclastic Torrent. Ignores cover, torrent, 12-inch range, d6 shots, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Melee weapons, Talons and the Tentacled Maw. So anti-Psyker 4+ dev wounds. D6 +1 attacks on 3, strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. It's a monster Great Devourer Harvester. It's got the Harvester keyword. It's got Deadly Demise 1, Feel No Pain 5+. Synapse, Biostimulus, Aura. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 6, they have a 6-up Feel No Pain. Okay. Feeding Frenzy. Each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a unit below its starting strength, add 1 to the hit roll. If the target is also below half strength, add 1 to the wound roll. It's just equipped with these things. It's a monster Great Devourer Harvester. Rippers. Move 6 with a toughness of 2 and a 6-up save with 4 wounds. Leadership 8, OC 0. Ranged weapons are Spine Maws. Pistol, 6-inch range with 4 attacks on 5. Strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. Chitinous Claws and Teeth. Sustained hits 1, 6 attacks on 5s. 2 strength, AP 0, damage 1. They can all be equipped with Spine Maws. They have Deep Strike, Synapse, Chitinous Horrors. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of this unit, have the objective control characteristic of that enemy unit. That's funny. 1 to 3 in a unit. They're great because they can Deep Strike. They're super cheap. You can take units of 1 to 3. And they do secondaries. They're Swarm, Great Devourer, Harvester, and Ripper Swarm. So they're a Harvester unit. Screamer Killer. He screams. He kills. He moves 8. He's toughness 9 with a 2-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, and OC of 3. He's got a Bioplasmic Scream. It's Assault. It's Blast. It's got an 18-inch range with D6 plus 3 attacks on 4s. Strength 8, AP 2, damage 1. Melee, Screamer Killer, Talons, 10 attacks, is Strength 10. Hits on 3s, AP 2, damage 3. He's a monster Great Devourer. Deadly Demise 1, Synapse, Death Scream in your shooting phase. After this model is shot, select an enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. Take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. So there are a lot of things in the book that make you take battle shock tests. He's equipped with his Bioplasmic Screams. I'm just not sure how good that is, you know? Monster Great Devourer, I already said that. Spore Mines. They move 4, toughness of 1. They have a 7-up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, OC of 0. Beast Fly, Great Devourer. Deep Strike, Synapse. Battlefield Mine. You cannot start or end an advanced move within 6 of them. And then Floating Death. Each time this unit or an enemy unit ends a move, for each model in this unit that is within 3 inches of one or more enemy units, select one of those enemy units. That model in this unit is destroyed, then roll a d6. On a 2 to 5, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6, they suffer d3. Units with 3 to 6, they have nothing. Spore Cyst, moves 0. Toughness of 10 with a 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 0. It's got a Spore Cyst bioweapon. It's 24-inch range with 10 shots. Strength 5, AP 1, damage 2 on 4s. Okay. Cleansing Whips for melee. 6 attacks, a strength 7, AP 1, and damage 2 on 4s. It's a Spore Assist. It's got its bioweapons and Cleansing Whips. It's got Deadly Demise D3 Synapse and Seed Mucilids. Once per turn in your shooting phase, when selected to shoot, one unit with this ability can use it instead of making any attacks with its ranged weapons. If it does, you can add one new Mucilid Spores unit containing one model to your army and set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 18 of this model and more than 9 inches horizontally from all enemy units. Hive Defenses, you can target this model with the Fire Overwatch stratagem for 0 CP, and you can do so even if you've already targeted a different unit with that same stratagem. Cool. It's a monster, Great Devourer. Tervigon. Moves 8, toughness 11 with a 2-up save and 16 wounds. It's not so bad. Leadership 7, OC of 5. Stinger Salvos, 24-inch range with 8 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1 on 3s. In combat, it's got Massive Crushing Claws. These are 4 attacks on 4s, strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 plus 1. It's also got Massive Scything Talons. They have 2 different profiles that both hit on 3s. The Strike profile is 4 attacks, strength 9, AP 2, damage D6. The Sweep profile is strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. If it's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Its Massive Scything Talons can be replaced with Massive Crushing Claws. It's got Deadly Demise D6, Shadow in the Warp Synapse, spawn Termagants. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Termagants unit within 6. Return up to D3 plus 3 destroyed models to that unit. You cannot select that unit more than once per phase to regain guys. Brood Progenitor. While a friendly Termagant unit is within 6 of this model, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits. It's a Tervigon. It's got Stinger Salvos, Massive Scything Talons. It's a monster character. Psyker, Great Devourer, Synapse. Okay. Keep sliding this to the right for some reason. Toxicrene. This moves 8, is toughness 11 with a 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, and OC of 4. Massive Toxic Lashes is what this thing has. They're anti-infantry 2-up with a 9-inch range, 2d6 shots. BS3, strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. In combat, same deal. Anti-infantry 2-up with 12 attacks, strength 6, AP 1, and damage 2 on 3s. It's got Deadly Demise D3, Synapse, Grasping Tendrils. Each time an enemy unit, excluding Titanics, within engagement range of 1 or more units from your army with this ability are selected to fall back, roll d6 on a 3+, you must remain stationary instead. That's awesome. That's real good. Hypertoxic Miasma. At the end of your movement phase, roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model. On a 2 to 3, they suffer 1 mortal wound. On a 4 to 5, they suffer d3. On a 6, you suffer d6. It's a monster, Great Devourer. It just has this Toxic Lash. The Trigon. Moves 10, toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 4. For range, it's got its Bioelectric Pulse, sustained hits 2 with a 12-inch range with 6 attacks, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1 on 3s. In combat, 12 attacks at strength 9, AP 2, damage 3 on 3s. -1 to hit if it's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining. It can Deep Strike. It's got Subterranean Tunnels. Each time this model is set up on the battlefield using Deep Strike, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. When doing so, if this model is set up within 9, it cannot declare a charge. It's got a Bioelectric Pulse and Trigon Scything Talons. Monster, Great Devourer. The Tyrannocyte. This moves 8 with toughness 9, a 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 2. It's got Tyrannocyte Bioweapon. That's 24-inch range, 5 attacks on 4, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. Cleansing Whip, 6 attacks, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2 on 4s. It's got a transport capacity of 20 guys or 1 Tyranid monster with a wounds characteristic of 12 or less. Each infantry model with a wounds characteristic of more than 1 takes up the space of 3. It's got Deadly Demise D3, Deep Strike, Aerial Seeding. This model must start the battlefield in reserves, but neither it nor any units embarked within it are counted towards the limits placed on the maximum number of reserve units you can start the battle with. This model can be set up in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. Any units embarked must immediately disembark. It's basically a drop pod. You can't embark within it once it comes down. You immediately disembark from it. It can come down turn 1. It's a drop pod. It's a monster fly transport, dedicated transport. Vanguard Invader, Great Devourer. Okay. Tyrannofex. This moves 9. It's toughness 12 with a 2-up save and 16 wounds. Leadership 8, OC of 5. It's got acid spray as an option. 18-inch range, D6 plus 6 shots at strength 6, AP 2, and damage 2. That's pretty good. Flesh Borer Hive. Heavy, sustained hits 1, twin linked. 24-inch range, 20 shots at strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Hitting on 3s with everything. Rupture Cannon. 2 shots at strength 18, AP 4, and 2d6 damage. 48-inch range. Stinger Salvo. 24-inch range, 8 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. In combat, it's got powerful limbs. 4 attacks on 3, strength 8, AP 0, damage 2. It's got 1 to 5 wounds remaining. It's -1 to hit. It's got Deadly Demise D6. Synapse. Resilient Organism. Once per battle, when an attack is allocated to this model, you can change it to 0. Change the damage to 0. Flesh Borer Hive. Stinger Salvo. Alright. Its Flesh Borer Hive can be replaced with an Acid Spray or a Rupture Cannon. Right. Yeah, I mean, they're both good. Monster Great Devourer. I think this might be the last page. Tyrant Guard. They move 6. Their toughness 8. They have a 3-up save and 4 wounds with leadership 8 and OC 1. They have Bone Cleaver, Lash Whip, and Rending Claws as 1 weapon. It's a melee weapon with 3 attacks, strength 5, AP 0, damage 2, hitting on 3s. Crushing Claws and Rending Claws are twin linked with 2 attacks on 4s, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. Scything Talon and Rending Claws, 5 attacks, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. Any number of models can have their Scything Talons and Rending Claws replaced with one of the following: Bone Cleaver, Lash Whip, Rending Claw, or Crushing Claws and Rending Claws. They have Synapse Guardian Organism while a character is leading the unit. The character model has a 5-up Feel No Pain. Okay. 3 to 6 in a unit, they have massive, or they just have regular Scything Talons and Rending Claws. Infantry Great Devourer. Venom Thrope. Moves 6, toughness 5 with a 4-up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, OC of 1. For melee, Toxic Lashes, anti-infantry 2+ with 5 attacks on 3s, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. They have Stealth, Synapse, Foul Spores. It's an aura while a friendly Tyranid unit is within 6. Each time a ranged attack targets that unit, models in that unit have the benefit of cover against that attack. In addition, while a friendly Tyranid unit, excluding monsters, are within 6, models in that unit have Stealth. Nice. So he gives everything -1 to hit and cover. You take him in units of 3 to 6. Infantry Fly, Great Devourer. Von Ryan's Leapers, they move 10. Their toughness 5 with a 4-up save and a 6-up invuln, 3 wounds, leadership 8, and OC of 1. They're a unit of Death Leaper things. Cool. They have Leaper Talons, 6 attacks on 3, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. They have Fights First, Infiltrator, and Stealth. They have Pouncing Leap. You can target them with a Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. They're units of 3 to 6. Infantry Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader. There it is. So the Zone Thropes are next. They move 5. Toughness 5 with a 5-up save but a 4-up invuln. 3 wounds, leadership 7, and OC of 1. They have Warp Blast, Witchfire with 2 different profiles. It's either D3 shots at strength 7, AP 2, and damage D3, or 1 shot at strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 plus 1. They all have a las cannon. They hit on 3s with those. Chitinous Claws and Teeth, 2 attacks on 5, strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. They have Shadow in the Warp and Synapse. They have Spirit Leech while an enemy unit is within 6. If it contains a Neurothrope, each time an enemy unit fails a Battle Shock test, it suffers D3 mortal wounds, and 1 model in this unit regains D3 lost wounds. Warp Field. While a friendly Tyranid unit is within 6, they have a 6-up invuln. They're units of 3 to 6. They come with a Neurothrope in the unit. They have Warp Blast, Chitinous Claws, and Teeth, or Infantry Character Fly, Great Devourer, Synapse. So they're a Synapse creature. That's interesting. I didn't realize that they were getting the old school character as a sergeant in that unit. As always, guys, thank you so much for making it to the end here. Really, really helps tell YouTube that people like this kind of content. So, like this video, subscribe to Theory Hammer, leave a comment down below, tell us what you guys thought about the Tyranids. Pretty awesome. A lot of units to go over, a lot of cool stuff in here. 2 good detachments in my opinion. Let me know what you think though, and then hit that bell icon. That way you're always notified each time we have a new Codex review, a battle report, a Tactica, me complaining about something, any of that stuff. Alright, that's going to do it. I'm going to slither my way on out of here. Until the next video, be good little gene stealers, and I will see you then.